What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for October 24th, 2022. Jumptown's back, along with Ninetales Lockdown as well. 3.17.4 is now a thing, and SCL is also back. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys starting at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, we have a little bit to get through this week. Let's start out with updates on the patch. And unfortunately, the patch is not the 3.18 patch. There are dynamic events coming to the current patch, which is 3.17.3, and those dynamic events are Jumptown and Ninetales Lockdown. And they're going to be starting out on Tuesday, October 26th, and continuing through Wednesday, November 2nd. Now, this has been their go-to content the entire year of 2022. We got nothing to do, just give them some dynamic events. They'll be happy, right? Is that working anymore for you guys? This time around, I will probably play a little bit of Jumptown because it is fun to troll a little bit there. But other than that, I just don't find it that interesting. There's no real purpose behind earning money at this moment. And yeah, it just doesn't feel to have the weight that it used to have. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think. But 3.18 does have a little bit of news around it. So we know that there was an Evocati patch. We know that they found some issues. We know that they're diving into those issues and trying to resolve them. But because it's taking so long, we just heard about a 3.17.4 patch basically immediately after I posted this video last week. A lot of you guys made the comments. I saw that. It was pretty funny. But 3.17.4 is now a thing because they have to put out their big sale of the year, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, but 3.18 isn't ready for it. So 3.18 is going to stay in Evo, the PTU, for however long it's going to take, but they do have to do this patch because they have to sell their ships, you know, it's very important. Now, I hope that patch does come with a little bit of crash fixes and things like that, because 3.17 is still very unstable in comparison to other patches. I think we'll hear a little bit more news around the 3.18 patch with Roadmap Roundup coming this week, things like that. It's pretty important. Also, Zyloh mentioned that the Crusader is going to be coming in the 3.17.4 patch. So there is a little something to check out there with that ship, which is pretty exciting. And the Vulture will not come in that patch because it's tied to PES, salvage, and the cargo refactor. So makes sense there. We'll have to wait for 3.18 for the Vulture. For video updates, we only had an SCL this week, and it debuted, well, sort of debuted. We saw it at CitizenCon with the new set. It wasn't just for CitizenCon, and also a bit of a new format, which we'll ask you some questions about a little bit later. But they start out with the bomb discourse from a month or so ago. Yikes.
There's a lot of gameplay systems, like the Centurion is, or sort of existed as sort of not a counter specifically to bombers, but a counter to threats coming in to attack ground locations. And it sort of does okay at its job in some aspects. There's other things like the bombs themselves do actually have minimum arm distances and minimum safe ranges before they're supposed to activate to prevent some of the problems that are out there. And we were looking into it recently and found that technically, it's one of these very programmery things that it does work. However, in reality, it doesn't work the way you think it works. Like, there's a minimum safe radius for the bomb to arm, which is something like 50 meters. And that means if you've got a Hercules that's 49 meters off the ground, you drop it, hits the ground, doesn't go off. Great. The Hercules then flies 2 meters higher. The bomb then goes off. So there's lots of fun things like that we're working through. Yeah, so there's obviously some tweaks they wanted to make to bombing and some, issues around it that were expected to be working, like the safe distance for it to, the bomb to explode and detonate and all that stuff, and that wasn't quite working. So there's things that they want to do, but maybe never prioritized or had time to go in and fix them. And maybe that discourse, that was just
running rampant in the Star Citizen community for like 2 weeks there was enough to put it on their radar, I guess. And then John also touched on the oddly timed rework for ground vehicles.
There will be more, as I mentioned in the interstitials, which I don't think they made the cut into the YouTube uploads. So unless you watch the full,
you have to watch the full show.
You have to watch the full show. To try and not redo it again in full. There is a new tyre handling and vehicle handling model coming, and we had redone the ground vehicles for that. But because of the way time works, and 318 didn't come out on the Evocati before 317.3 came, we had to very quickly at the last minute put an approximation of those speeds in the old model, just to sort of get the ball running, because if we had saved it, that same change would have just happened very close after, and everyone loves to think that we nerf ground vehicles immediately after they're released, and that's not the case. Like, we balance them based on how they're performing.
Is it though?
So yeah, I think that that's pretty standard. I feel like that was really it. Nothing really more to add there, but I do wonder what the new feel for the tires are going to be. Now, the next thing that they talked about is most important non-answer I think we've ever had, and it's around the confusion with the new flight model changes from a lot of people in the community, including myself.
We knew this was going to happen.
Yes, yeah. With the change of this scale, we knew that, like, this reaction was going to happen, and there was only so much we could put into that CitizenCon presentation. I think the guys did a great job of getting the basics out there, but we couldn't cover everything. So there was lots of questions about, hey, is my cargo ship just going to get ganked all the time now? Or right. What happens to racing? And those are
the
all...
answer is yes.
Yeah. 100% ganked. And we knew those questions would come up. We just didn't have time to expand upon it in that piece. So when Rich and the team get a chance to do it again, like I say, it was supposed to be today, but sickness and holidays fought against us. Yep. We'll go over what the plans for those are, because it's their pet project that they've been working on for a long time, and it should really be them that gets to explain it in depth.
Now, it really is a bit sad that Rich couldn't make it on the show with the rest of the team, but yeah, it's good to know that the issues that we have are things that they already know exist, have an idea in mind for most likely, but I'm looking forward to hearing it from the horse's mouth at some point, and that should be really good, because I think a lot of people just thought the entire rework was Squadron 42 focused and not Star Citizen focused enough, but the update that they shared at CitizenCon was Squadron 42 focused, but the full update, maybe not so much. So I'm really going to be keeping an eye out for that SCL or that IAC in the near future. Now, the 600i rework was shared, and I don't know much about the issues with the ship, but man, there's so much more room in this ship for things now, and they've added those things. So the images that I'm sharing on screen were from this SCL, were all the updates that they're planning in concept, but none of these things are in production at the moment. And then lastly, they did do like a little break for community-made commercials and stuff like that as they switched guests. So very much like a late-night show where you talk to a celebrity for a little while, get them out of there, talk to another one, which was pretty cool. So I'll take this time out to basically say they brought on some programmers after that. I didn't really find anything to cut out from that section of the video for you guys. So again, I'll take the time out to ask, what'd you think of the format? A little bit of time with some artists, a little bit of time with some programmers, not an hour of, eventually towards the end, it gets a little old, gets a little boring, gets a little slow. So I think maybe the half an hour each is probably a good look. And takes less time away from the devs. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below about the new format. I'll let you know. I like it. And then lastly, we have a few other updates, one of them being Paul Jones is leaving. He posted on Twitter that he's leaving Star Citizen. This was the guy who basically headed up all the ships that have been developed in Star Citizen throughout its history, basically. And kind of a big deal at the company, and kind of a big deal that he's leaving, although this pipeline is so nailed down that I imagine we won't see too many hiccups with him leaving there. But who knows, maybe the Crusader Spirit issues with the numbers and things like that could have fallen because of these changes that were going on. And speaking of that, well, before we go there, Paul, thank you. You know, there's some really cool stuff. Gonna miss the ASMR on the ISCs and things like that. And best wishes for whatever endeavors you move on to. Now, the Crusader Spirit Q&A came, and there's not much that I want to take out from it. They did address the number issues there, and the link will be in the description down below for the Spirit Q&A if you guys are interested in checking it out. Top one for me, no secondary entrance, and it's honestly going to be the reason why I'm not going to buy the ship. They felt that there wasn't enough room there, and yeah, I just don't think that's a good decision. I think the Freelancer, I think the Cutlass both have secondary entrances, and these are the ships that you're competing with, and yeah, I think those work with that. A ramp on the back is just asking for trouble in a lot of scenarios, right? And the next thing was, how does the Spirit kind of stack up against the Freelancer and the Cutlass? And it's faster and more maneuverable, they say. And the issue right now is with the new flight model coming out, we don't really know what that means. So I don't see the advantage of this ship at the moment. I made a video on my second channel about how this thing really looks like it sucks, so we'll have to see what happens there. There were quite a few more questions in this. If you guys do want to check it out, again, link will be down in the description. And the last thing will be a sneak peek, which was an HVAC system. We know that they're working on the room system, life support, all that stuff. So it's a HVAC pipe. You know, not really a big deal, but I think it's just letting us know that they're working on it. So looks like it's in a gray box room. I don't know, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this sneak peek. I don't think we're getting it anytime soon, but that will do it for this week. So thank you so much for watching. That was Week in Review. As always, I enjoyed making it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video. That helps out big time. Subscribe for more Weeks in Review, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about anything we talked about or anything I may have missed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.